Hello, good afternoon. It's been a while. I've been kind of letting this whole experience just wash over me. The life-changing or life-altering series of events, the virus, COVID-19, something that I've anticipated my whole life and liked to think that I had been preparing for this event my whole life. Some life altering that unplanned wide. And I think we're experiencing that. By no means seeing the extent of this, and time will tell. But I believe that it will have lasting impact socially, politically, and personally on our daily lives. I've already had I have a good friend that I talked with often, and he's saying how it's helped him to, he's reevaluated, taking advantage of this social distancing, this downtime for reflection, and considering that even though he's pretty low-key, simple, lives a simple life, he wants to be even simpler. He wants to even simplify. It is once a year obligatory traveling overseas, international traveling. He's rethought that maybe that's not necessary, that this opportunity, it's been an opportunity to be more selective. And he said it's, in his point, it's prompted by being more frugal. And I live on a fixed income, like many of you do, and it's just rang true to me that time to rethink and reconsider. And first of all, I'd like to address the elephant in the room. I put on my happiest Hawaiian aloha shirt today. How can you not be happy but look at this surfing and sun and coconut trees? And yeah, so this is my happy time, my happy place. And I wanted to wear this because I'm trying to snap out of this dark skies, I call it, a time of, I have to look here and read a quote. I feel altered. I feel like it's changed. And I know in my spiritual evolution, there's been the dark nights, they're called sometimes. I'm calling them dark skies because nights implies that there's no sun, but this dark skies is a constant state of not melancholy, though, not sadness, but just has that edge of, it's uncomfortable. And it's probably uncomfortable because my discomfort in having these dark skies, these dark times, is that change is coming, both in me and without me, around me. Change is in the air. Change is coming. The harbingers of change are the dark skies. And spiritually, I know that they talk about the darkness before the dawn, the darkness that you go through before it's really, you're mourning the death of the ego as you've grown to know it. This passing, this mourning is the dark night, and it's disconcerting to some, but I've been preparing for it because I never put much stock into my perceptions of who and what and why I am. So, put on a happy face. Smile even when it hurts. Okay, this dark time, and I was reading, and this is two things have happened to me recently. Because I spend most of my time, if I'm not reading, I'm listening to music. And the music lyrics are talking to me, what I mentioned before, that they never had before. And they just, my messages that I receive used to be through sleeping. And of course, I'm still getting those, but I'm getting messages when I'm aware. And these are coming in the lyrics of songs, or sometimes reading on my trusty iPad. Read a lot. And it just came by these words. I feel altered in a way I can't comprehend. Like I was washed away in a river of endless emotions that carried me downstream. Floating, no risk of drowning. I'm water safe, waterproof, but definitely not being able to fight the current, not making headway as I have come to think of it, being swept back in a river of emotions. And for most of my spiritual journey and exploration, emotion has been, I don't want to say enemy, that's too strong a word, but that's an obstacle. Emotion, emote, to be involved, to be vested in your thoughts is what emotion, to attach something to your thoughts is emotion. It's an attachment. And of course, I'm interested in detaching. But it's hard not to feel, actually, the river, my metaphor of a river, has already taken me downstream all the way to the cosmic mother, the ocean, as I call her, the cosmic mother, the source of life on this planet. An ocean of sorrow, an emotive ocean. So if I thought being swept backwards out to sea, you don't get swept forward, you get swept backwards, okay? Swept backwards out to sea. And now I'm sink or swim in a churning, choppy, murky ocean. And instead of sea of bliss, I have a sea of confusion, a sea of emotion, strong emotive experience. And I've been trapped in this. Well, not trapped, because I'm always sure of one thing. I'm exactly where I need to be when I'm there. So I needed to be, and again, it's a harbinger of change. It's an echo. An echo is a reflection of a noise. It's a reflection. It's a reoccurrence. It's a reminder that change is afoot. And in the spiritual realm of things, the metaphor of climbing a mountain, and it's always up, and then you reach a plateau, and then you climb again. But there's times, or so it seems to me, that you tend to go back down into the valleys. And then maybe it's to prepare yourself for a more arduous, steeper climb that's coming. I always thought plateaus were a place of rest, but also now I'm starting to understand about valleys. Peaks and valleys seems to be the general nature of things. It's how things work. So why would think it'd be any different? Go, 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 plateau, go, 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 plateau, take a breather. why I thought that, all things that go up must come down. There's laws in nature that we just can't. It's foolhardy to resist. So what to do? Last time I talked about boundless love. That this was my response, my reaction to what was going on around me. And despite, I said earlier, I entertained this kind of wild thought that somehow I was preparing to help others in this time of change. And it's just my scale is not such a grand illusion that I personally could help on any kind of scale other than being who I am, living life as it finds me, maintaining my equanimity. So I'm happy to report that equanimity has stayed with me somehow, even though I'm in a morass of litter emotions, emotion-filled, emotive. Emotive is a better word because it's an energy. It's not necessarily talking about a thing. It's an energy. So emotive energies. And what has historically, traditionally occurred with me is that when I do meet a situation that seems to be life-altering, that seems to be, it never reaches a point of being overwhelmed. Not much can overwhelm me anymore. Although I'm open to the fact that who knows what's in the future could be totally overwhelming. Also, I'm seldom underwhelmed. My wife said to me yesterday, "You're such an optimist," and I had a tone to it. And I thought to myself, and I even put a voice to it. Is that a bad thing? Is to be optimistic a bad thing? It's probably not a question of bad or good. It's a choice, and I made this choice to look on the brighter things, because from darkness comes light. So what to do with this borderline overwhelming circumstances that I find myself in the throes of? Well, first of all, I practice social distancing. I texted a friend. I said, I'm probably all too good at social distancing because it's my natural propensity. I love isolating myself from the world only to recharge my batteries and go about engaging the world and hoping to have some positive effect by just my being who I am on the world and those near and dear to me. And hopefully it's a ripple, like a pebble in the water, and the ripples that go out. I believe that every one of our behaviors is like a pebble going in, and the consequences continue in all 360 degrees to infinity. There's consequences for our actions, our thoughts, our feelings. There's consequences for much greater than personal consequences. This is how I'm understanding that we can impact the world. It's subtle, it's anonymous, as it should be. My brother and I were talking about philanthropy today. Philanthropists, people who unselfishly give of themselves and their monies or whatever that they have. And anonymity is almost a prerequisite to effective philanthropy. My tongue stuck in philanthropy. I think anonymity is a key point, not to be known. That's why I question, the Bill Gates Foundation or the Clinton Foundation. I think there's bigger and better people at work here that are doing the unsung and unseen of sharing what they've been fortunate enough to accumulate, be it intelligence, be it wisdom, be it money. Unselfish sharing of your riches. So this is the counterbalance. I've been lost in this sea, this emotive churning sea, ocean of emotions. And only recently have I found a small piece of land, a sanctuary, sticking up, and crawled up, feeling a little bit battered and bruised from this inward experience. Those watching me from the outside probably had no inkling. I just noticed that my energy level has been down. I get tired easily or easier. I need to rest more. And I've learned to listen to my body. When my body's telling me rest, I rest. I don't question it. It knows better than I. And none of that, I should be exercising, I should be doing this, I'm being lazy. No, non-judgmental acceptance of what my body is telling me. This vehicle that we're gifted with, it's a temporary gift, but it's a nonetheless beautiful blessing, beautiful gift. And we need to nurture it, we need to value it, we need, most importantly, to listen to it. My body, my form is what I listen to. I've long given up to looking to my mind for anything but, at best, entertainment, a good laugh, a chuckle. My mind is good at sorting, filing, storing. And as long as I keep it to those tasks, as long as I remember that this is and I don't listen, I assign it. And while I do listen, I listen to the reports. My mind will report back to me and say, "Hey, remember that?" Da, 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 da. Say, "Oh yeah, yeah." And if it's useful, I keep it in the RAM, that accessible. Sorry, my computer talk is the accessible part of computing compared to what's stored and has to be sorted, and it'll come to me, the proper term, but I mean readily accessible because it has a use currently, and currently it's the only realm that has any meaning. Current, now. If it's useful tomorrow, I can file it. I'll get it tomorrow. As I've said before more than once, what I need to know, when I need to know, when I need to know, I will know. If I don't know, I don't need to know. But that's sort of the filing system. So the mind does, I do listen to the mind in the sense that you listen to it as you would listen to somebody reading the minutes of a meeting, reading the results of some research. reading a journal, an academic journal. And if it's relevant and it's current and you pay more attention to it, you give it more value than something that just piques your interest and you file it for future reference or use. So what to do? I told you within the last day or two, and that's why I'm here now wearing my happy shirt of my happy place and sharing again after a few weeks of not being able to share the dark skies. And I crawl up onto a little respite, a little safety on a big rock, and caught my breath and took a look, more dispassionate look. When I'm within the throes, it's passionate. I'm involved, I'm in it. When I'm on my little rock, I have the room to look and watch. So what to do with this experience? That's the question. And the answer may or may not surprise you. My answer, and I certainly can't have your answer. I can only have my answer. And my answer is, let the question sink to nothingness. Let the question sink to nothingness. Remembering all the while that everything and nothing are the same thing, going back to non-dualistic reality, perception of life as we know it, life as we don't know it, life as we've known it, life as we'll never know it, is non-dualistic. Everything and nothing are the same thing. Love and hate, night and dark. It's just a matter of measurement, degree. Where are you in the spectrum? Where are you in the... I'm making it a circular, but in fact, I don't know how to make circular and spiral at the same time. But this is our condition. We're circling in a spiral. So it's a degree. Light and dark are not opposites. This secret of... I call it a secret because it's the last realization, the last understanding, and I've heard other people refer to it as well. But for me, my last understanding, my last obstacle to overcome when my abiding awakening, a condition that never can go backwards. Non-abiding means it's a temporary satori moment. Abiding awakening is forever, and all it would do, it's not stagnant. You don't awake. You realize that you're part of the awakening process. It's an action, not an event. It's an occurrence, ongoing, continual occurrence. So that was my what to do with being swept away in the river leading to the ocean of emotions, being continually in a emotive state, the tremendous energy that it takes to be in this emotive state is mind-boggling. And I don't really appreciate till I'm able to have that perspective of being on my rock and looking down at the angry ocean. Well, but I say angry ocean, but emotions, as we know, are not good or bad. They're just a lot of work. A lot of work. A lot of energy. A lot of consumption, time consumption. So I'm on the rock today with my happy shirt, looking down at the churning ocean, still dealing, and really when I'm talking about the churning ocean, I see the condition of us amidst this virus, knowing that again, the virus is a harbinger of things to come. There'll be more and worse. And we're in for a period of turmoil. Typhoons, earthquakes, fires. All these things are associated with change. I see the humans in an evolutionary crossroads. Either we're going to get better, we're going to help each other, or we're going to cease to be. I'm not sure who can make this choice. I'm not sure that it's not too late, but I'm optimistic. Maybe our time as a species is ending. Well, that's the history of, if you look at the world, everything ends. But herein lies the twist. It only appears to end. I listened to George Carlin talk about Save the Whale, Save the Earth, Earth Day, and he said that he thought that probably the purpose of human beings to come to this world was to make plastic. Because the earth needed plastic, so only we could make plastic. And now that there's plastic is choking this, our point of view is choking the world, our usefulness is over. And like he said, Mother Nature will be fine. The earth has been a burning black cinder, black and red cinder before. It would be a black and red cinder again. The water will come, life will come. Evolution is a force that can't be stopped. But this human-centric view that, well, if mankind isn't here, that, we're killing the earth. It's the opposite. I think the earth is killing us. Because of our own refusal to see the beauty and to appreciate the beauty of life as it is. We failed at letting things be. We fail every day at letting things be. And this was the lesson that was, even as I was trapped in the throes of this emotive, churning, dark ocean, the dark skies, darkness, I could see that change, in order for change to come, and it will come, a few people, we might not be that comfortable. How about that? I haven't been that comfortable. just a little overwhelmed by the extent of suffering, the knowledge of the suffering yet to come, even knowing that it's all an illusion, that it sure seems real when we're in the throes of it, doesn't it? And really taking the step back and saying, well, it's all an illusion, is perhaps not always so comforting. It doesn't bode well for what's in your face, for what you can see. But I'm suggesting to you that if you come into this kind of conditions of a dark period and you're wondering, especially those of you who are making your spiritual journey, your search paramount to your life, those of you that have realized that this is indeed your ultimate purpose, is to awake to the condition, awake to life, become aware of what it is, why it is, where it is, when it is. It is always. So if any of you have, like me, have gone through these dark times, I hope that you can find your boulder. I hope you can find your big rock, and I hope you have the strength to pull yourself up out of it and sit and shake yourself dry and look down. Put on your happy shirt. Go to your happy place, your safe harbor. That's what a safe harbor is. It's a place of refuge. A place that you create in your mind that you can go to whenever and why ever you need to. I needed to put a personal effort to create this safe harbor, this safe place, this visualization, a meadow surrounded by tall pine trees with gentle flute music and a beautiful sky and just a place. And it's empty, by the way, no other people. But this is my refuge. This is my safe place. Work on yours. Enjoy this downtime, if indeed you're having downtime. If you're part of that, those of us that are out there helping others, you have my love and blessing and my admiration and my ultimate lasting appreciation of what you're doing for others. We can live life with the goal of helping each other. It's possible. It's doable.